What is up, guys? It's the Coming to Terms podcast with your co-host, Reif Eckleberry, and
your co-host, Rent Rosario, with a special guest.
Gavin Moore up in here, you feel me? Special guest in it.
Alright, for today's episode, we decided, since we have Gavin here with us, we're going to be talking about change and how Gavin has came to terms with change in his life and how it has affected almost every part of his life. So
Gavin? Basically this episode is titled Coming to Terms with Change.
Exactly. Alright, Gavin, give you a little introduction.
So, if anyone... oh my god. Yeah, you're right. If anyone is the poster child for change, I would believe it's probably me. My whole life has been filled with nothing but change and new chapters of my life, seeing as my dad is like in the Air Force, and we've moved around as long as I've been born, and to like new countries, new environments, new societies, and that type of life has developed me in a different way that I think than like most people who have just, stayed sedimentary. Sedimentary? Is that?
Yeah.
I think we'll just roll with it. We'll just roll with it. Sedimentary, yeah, their whole life, and haven't moved around and just kind of stayed the same. I've been everywhere.
What would you say would be like probably the moment in your life that showed you how much change has affected?
Yeah,
what was the change that really made an effect on you?
The biggest change for me was probably my 8th grade year, the summer between 7th and 8th grade, and also 8th grade in general. When I first moved back to the U.S. here, because that was the first time I've seen like a different type of like environment that was close to me, because I've been moving around before that a bunch, and it was always to new areas, but like relatively
new areas. Where
new areas such as we had moved when I was a baby. We moved to Idaho from Colorado, and then from there we moved to England, and we were there for 4 years. We were there in Idaho because my dad got stationed there, and we lived there for about 5 years. And then he got stationed, and we had to move to England, and we lived there for 4 years. And then we moved to Germany. And obviously, like when I was little, I don't remember much of that, so obviously that's not going to be a factor in it. And from the change from England to Germany was relatively easy, as like coming up in that, like my whole circle was around like the military, like schooling and stuff like that, and all those kids are from the same environment. So no matter where you're stationed at, if you're at a military school, all the kids are basically going to be the same. It's not too much of a difference.
And how old were you at this time?
When I moved from England to Germany, I was around like 10 years old.
10?
And I was living in England from about 6 to 10.
Have you always been surrounded by military children?
Basically my entire life, my whole formative years were around the same type of people, same mindset as me, just very military, like just people.
I have a fun question. So, you went to school on base, right?
Yes.
How would you feel, let's say you were young enough and you grew up in England, where your parents are American, but I don't know how the effect works, but you grew up in England a good portion of your life that you had an accent. How would you feel?
Like I had an accident?
No, an accent.
Accent.
Like
an accent.
English,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, an accent. If I developed an accent.
I would have wanted you to have an accident.
That'd be terrible.
That would suck.
That makes a lot more sense. Okay. So if I developed an accent, I would have loved that. I actually do think about it all the time, especially because, for most like American people, it's like kind of funny to just make fun of it. Specifically, British accents are like one of the most like made fun of like accents out there. It's so funny to be like, yeah, they're like, and they're basically the same.
That wasn't an English accent.
I don't know.
Some people do it to varying success rates.
Obviously failing over there.
I'm a failure.
I used to, it's just one of the most popular things to like copy and stuff like that. And, I love to hear people do that type of stuff because it's about 50-50. Some people do it. I mean, it's pretty basic. I mean, so, like, some people just don't have like that type of accent too that are British.
But how would you feel if you had, imagine you had
British
one,
accent, I would really honestly love it. And I genuinely, like, some people might think of it like embarrassing as like, you're American. I can see that. I know people that
it's weird because like when you go to different countries, because when I went to the Philippines, they're like they know that I had an American accent.
Yeah.
And then when you're in America, you obviously don't realize you're in an American accent.
Yeah.
So it's like it's weird because you could when an English person comes over to America, right? It's like, oh, he's from England or whatever, Europe. Yeah. But like when you're going from American to Europe, they're like, that's an American.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
It's really easy to tell, and that's true. And I feel like, but also just a lot of people, you know, like I know a lot of people that are like America all the way. You know, some people in the military are like that, and they wouldn't like that. I genuinely think. Personally, for me, I think it sounds very attractive too. So I feel like I could like kind of spit more game like that. Have more of a no. Well, spit more game to my girlfriend. I'm very much so taken. No. But let me get it straight. But I just feel like it's more of a nice sounding tone too. I feel like generally British people just sound more pleasant, even when they're like cussing you out and stuff like that. That's a big change. No,
get the fuck away from me.
Literally, people in England. This is a hilarious story. I tell about my parents all the time because they were traumatized. They didn't want me hanging around like British kids that much because in England specifically, and a lot of places in Europe, cussing is just so much of a natural thing. They don't see it as a really bad thing. So I remember the first time my mom told me, this is the funniest story, like the first time they like heard and like really learned it on their own because no one really told them. We were out to dinner like the first week we moved to England and we were just trying to figure out the vibes and we heard this mother and her child, they were out and the kid like wanted something or whatever and like it was really annoying the mother and she said, shut your fucking mouth and then like whatever and my mom was like, oh no because like she's really like for like child like safety and stuff like that. She's like, no, you cannot talk like that. But she didn't do anything, but like she was like, what, why are you just saying that to your kid like so calm? And the kid's like little, the kid's like barely 6-ish probably or like 5, like around my age, and just straight up just like shut your fucking mouth and eat your food. Like that's just crazy, but for them it's just such a normal thing. And even for like little kids it's a normal thing. We would go to parks and my parents would feel like so uncomfortable because I would be like play with the kids because I was a very social kid and I'd play with the British kids and they'd like just cuss out the wazoo. You know, you tag them, they oh fuck off, you know what I'm saying? Like, and for me, like that was like insane. Luckily my parents just told me like, no, they can do that, you can't do that. But
so like just, that's interesting you say that, like just the place, like the environment you live in, you grow up, and it just really has so much effect on how you grow up and like how you interact with like your parents or other kids and stuff like that. So like going back to how changes like affected your life. So during like England, how has that changed you at all? Like, would you say like living in England changed you in any way, like the mindset or?
I would say a little bit, but honestly not that much, and that's solely because of the fact that like for me personally, like we lived in England and we were totally like ingrained in like with the whole population and everything like that. But the majority of my life was spent like on the military base. We didn't like got like all the time, and a lot of the time was just around a bunch of other Americans and a bunch of other military people like that. So I wouldn't say I changed as a person, but that developed me to who I was. And I didn't really start to change until I like left the whole European like area. Because even just from moving to England to Germany, that wasn't too big of a change for me. I was still the same person. I still did the same things. Besides like just like normal stuff like growing up, like going to teen years.
Interesting question. So like every time you move, every time something changes, how do you process it?
It was crazy to think about too. Actually, that's a really good question because when you think about it, you're there in a place with 4 years, you make like really great friends. I haven't even known like Rents for like 4 years, and I consider him like a brother to me. And to like know someone for like 4 years, become so close, and then have to leave like that, it's like you would think it would be like really hard. And like obviously like baseline, obviously it's like sucky and hard, but it's not one of those things where like what it does is it develops you into just becoming more adaptable. That's what I would say was like the main thing.
Yeah, like you kind of grow like a resistance to it.
Yeah, the main thing that it's done for me is made me very adaptable and very calm under stress. Just like basic stuff where I'm like resilience. That's the key word. I feel like it's made me a more resilient person to just any type of like random BS life throws. Specifically this year, even when it's like little stuff like my car, I've gotten
the amount of flat tires this man.
I've gotten about 3 flats this entire school year. This past school year, 3 flats every single time out on my own or with friends, And every single time, it's just like, most people, they probably freak out, be like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But it's gotten to the point, well, okay, obviously, also the fact that it's happened this many times, it's like horrible. It's genuinely trash. But you get used to it. But also just, the first time it happened, I'm just like a more resilient person to the type where it's just like, adaptability, not just adaptability to new environments, but adaptability to like minor changes in life, like even small things. Like, so from freshman year to junior year, for instance, I was a cross country and track runner, and that was my whole life, and I was so passionate about that. That was like my life. I was like eat, run, sleep, repeat, and that type of stuff. And then this year, I basically cut running out of my life almost 100%, and I started lifting and stuff like that. So like even changes like that. That was like an insane change. Honestly, that's like more of a crazy change for me personally than like even moving away for me, because this, you have to imagine, this is a passion for me. This is like something that like I genuinely care about. Like you're like moving away from friends, like it's sucky, but like it's just like part of it and what I'm used to. It's kind of part of life. Yeah. This is something that like I put effort into, I chose to do, it was all on me. And so to reap all because every time I've experienced change basically before that was not really because of anything I could do. It wasn't on me. It was on my parents, the military. I didn't really have a choice. So this was I honestly believe this was one of the first changes, going from running to like working out, that it was like a big change in my life that I chose and I kind of put on myself.
Do you think it was one of the changes that was needed for you to grow as a person, or is it like I just kind of wanted to do something different?
Yeah. Well, a little bit of both, because in the mindset of me, I just initially thought, I was like, I just didn't feel like doing cross country and track anymore this year, and I just, at first it was just, who cares, it's just a small little change, but
honestly, guys, I also did running myself and I quit my senior year. It was a change, but in my mind, I was like, the nightmare's over. Because I will tell you this, running is painful.
Very.
It hurts.
Very. So, we threw a party. It was a celebration for us. No.
I'm not a runner, okay?
So, you could take a break for a second. Yeah. So, basically, when we partied, no, it was, honestly, it wasn't, it wasn't that, like, at first it wasn't, like, a big deal. I was just like, it is what it is. It's just kind of, it felt weird. But as I started to work out more and more, I didn't realize how invested I was and ingrained I was in like the running lifestyle. So many like terms that just kind of faded away, like PR, like tempo, pace, and
a bunch of like PR is for a lot of things.
PR's, yeah, that's true. They do it for lifting too, but like tempo, pace. I'm trying to. I've been out of it for a while, but like stuff like that. Oh my god.
It's not about you, Reif.
I used to run like at least 5 to 6 miles mandatory. Now,
that's true.
I don't want to run.
No more running. It's just like, well, one time in 8th grade we had to do the turkey try.
Oh, not the turkey try.
Tell us about it.
The oranges afterwards hit different. I'll tell you that for sure.
That is true. That's one of the best things. Quick little side tangent. I just want to say, for all the people out there, I want to give good advice. If you take anything away from this,
this is the one thing.
This is the one thing. Do physical activities in your life. It doesn't have to be running. It doesn't have to be working out. No. Well, he ties into the orange thing.
I don't know what the turkey is.
You have to do something physical in your life. Humans were made to move. That's so true. We as humans were made to move. Our ancestors did it. It's unnatural to just stay and like walk around the house all day and do nothing. You have to, whether it's like working out, running, do dance, do something,
At least some
yoga,
physical activity.
And it's good. And then you feel the rewards better too. Like when it comes to like oranges, like it hits better. Like I don't know if you felt the same way, but like when we would finish races, me personally, sometimes then they would have Gatorades at the end.
Ooh,
that was the best ever Gatorade you'd ever drink in your life. When you're done with the race and you just like give you the cold little like tiny Gatorades, gone. Like literally like heaven sent.
I'd say the best feeling was when the race was over.
Yeah, it's just like
Reif is just like saying how he hated cross country.
Okay, I didn't hate cross country.
It sounds like it.
I love the practices. It was the race.
I hated running during practice, but
no. I love running. I love running the practices. It was just the races. as they were so stressful.
So stressful.
Wait,
yeah.
you know what, Reif? Why did you leave cross country?
Yeah.
Besides it being the worst thing ever.
Worst thing ever. Well, a lot was going through my mind right now. I think I had a mental break, and I was just, I was going through so much, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So I did do a little bit of cross country. I ran one meet, and I run my worst time ever. I think it was a 26-minute 5K.
That was a sign.
And it was terrible, and I was like, I need a break. I need to change. So I just stopped going to practice. I wish I would have kept up with it, but same with Gavin. I started lifting, and the gym was a very, good, very good space for me.
Replacement?
Yeah, good
It's an amazing replacement. Not only that, the gym, it's not like it's new territory, but it's not 100% unrecognizable. As for cross country, we would do some training in the gym and stuff like that.
My only problem with the gym is what cross country can't give me is that I always enjoyed was the competition.
That's true.
I actually enjoy competition. It gets fun.
It's very true. Even though it's stressful, it's a good sometimes you need a little stress in your life to keep things interesting, and that's a really
right.
good.
You can't be stress free all the time.
I actually do. I do relate to that. That is a big thing actually. But
So
that's why they got.
Gavin, I did want to ask you another thing that came up to me. Sorry. What's the change in? We're breaking. We lost off. Anyways, what was a change in your life where you were like, this is just something that it was a little difficult to cope with, or something this change is I don't know, this hit different.
It hit different in a bad way.
We can do bad and good.
Bad and good. Well, I feel like one of the most one of the hardest changes to deal with was also the one where I felt the most changes when we first moved here, and that was because like I said, moving around, you're around the same type of people. Military kids, they're basically just copy and pasted versions of them. So basically low key. I'm throwing shade.
Before you answer that question, what is it a military child? What is a military kid? What's their personality?
Yeah, why are you guys all the same?
What does it say about you guys?
Are all of you runners?
So they're all in distance, actually. Miles specialties. No, never.
Never.
But the thing is, and I mean, I throw that around, I don't throw it around, lightly, but, relatively, I don't mean, literally copy and paste, every single aspect, but, I mean, the same qualities of a person are seen in almost every single military child, and that's solely because when you go to schools. So let me explain why first. I'm gonna explain why first, okay? Because you have to realize you're not going to. We didn't live in Germany, and I didn't go to a German school. We went to a military school, and when you're overseas, you almost always have to go to a military school, and those type of schools, they raise you wow. Oh my god.
I have to check on the
They raise you
That's mine.
Is it?
That's mine.
My fault.
My fault, fool.
It's mine.
Where did mine go?
I don't know.
Alright, so anyway.
Whatever. You got that.
Clearly, you're not a military child.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's yours over there. They didn't see the whole snack debacle. Okay, maybe that's for the better. Maybe that's for the better. You guys don't want. You don't want to see how the sausage is made. You don't.
That's
It's a
not
term
what
that
we're doing.
people
Keep
use.
going.
No, it's a term that people use.
Military
arguing.
child,
No, you go to school and it's in a military school and they all have the same values. It's basically no matter what school you go to, no matter what country, it's the same all around. And they raise the kids with the same values. Just similar to the military itself. They try to all military members should have the same values in their life. And so I would describe most military kids that I know as easily adaptable. Generally very responsible people. I think so. Just depending. Also, it depends on your how you're raised too. Personally, in your house. I mean, it's not the only factor, but it's a good really telling sign. I mean, people in America do crazy things. I remember one time some kid broke into the school one time late. He didn't break in, but he went into the back and ran on the track just one time, and he got caught, and it was such big news to everyone.
Midnight Missions or something?
No. This was back in England or Germany. Okay. And so this is in 7th grade, and this is just to show you because people do insane stuff like in America. I'm sure you hear about like all the time.
Yeah.
But like back in like the military school, like this kid, like he went onto the track, he got caught because he was just running, literally just to run, and that was such big news. Like it spread across the entire base, not even just the school, but like the entire base. People were talking about it.
It must be a tight knit community.
Yeah, it's such a tight knit community.
Because like if anything happens, everything goes.
Yeah, not only that, yeah. So it's like it keeps you more in check too, because people see you. They're like, hey, what do you know? It's like.
Hey, you're the guy that is not about to get
track. You're the guy that like I just saw like getting like beat like you're the idiot who tried to run on the track. It keeps you in track more, and it just that feeling of like, you know, integrity of like, you know, like act like people are watching you even when act like people are watching you, because majority of the time people are watching you actually. So that's
any
crazy.
negatives about being a you know,
that type of lifestyle? Not really. Okay, there's like it all, and also this depends on how you're raised. But like
with all this stuff.
Yeah, for me personally, and I don't see this as a full negative, because sometimes for me it's hard to personally like connect genuinely with people. Like I'm a very social person, and I feel like I know a lot of people. I have like a lot of friends and stuff like that. Okay. But sometimes it's hard to. No, I don't mean it like that. Well, not to toot my own horn, but here I have a list. There, I have 2 books worth. Keep going. Literally, but it's hard to like sometimes for me personally to like form a genuine like heartfelt connection with people. And you know, it's really easy and it's really useful being able to like dip from people. So like a funny little anecdote for that is like before the senior year started, my dad had orders. We were gonna go ship out to Japan, and then it like something happened with the paperwork or whatever. Yeah. So before this year, my dad. Yeah, I tell the entire team about it. My dad got orders.
I'm sorry. I'm part of the.
You weren't part. Sorry. So you just had to be there. But my dad had orders. We were gonna move to Japan for the last year, and they just got messed up or whatever. And the funniest thing was, my parents didn't. Yeah, what coincidence? Am I right? That's
crazy.
It is crazy.
Oh my gosh. You would have been gone this year?
I would have been gone this year. I would have lived a whole new life. Like that would have been like completely different from where I am right now.
It would have been cooler if you moved to Japan and lived there, or would you regret not graduating here?
I'm happy with the way things are right now. I love my life. You know, I met my girlfriend this year, who I love so much, and it's just crazy to think that I wouldn't be with her. Given the fact, like, I'm happy and I wouldn't change things if I could go back, but honestly, I genuinely think
I would definitely change.
I'm trying to explain this in the best way possible so I don't sound me. Like, I think
I hate it here. That's what you're saying. I would rather move to Japan.
I would move right now. No, I
do it in a heartbeat.
I actually ask every day if there's a way. No, but the thing is I think it would have been a really good thing to move to Japan. I would have loved it, and I actually told. I remember. I don't know if I told you guys about it. Maybe I told a couple people, but I definitely told my parents because they were nervous. They were like, "Well, you know, you've gotten to know these people for all these years. Maybe you want to graduate with the same school you went to freshman year. That'd be nice. Something that not a lot of military people can get. So we were lucky to have that." And I was like, I didn't care though. I was like so ready to leave. I was like, let's go. Like I didn't care. I was like, yeah.
Because that was coming out of like both in person and online school, right?
Yeah, and that was like at the end of like the COVID. That was like when it was slowly dying off.
So that makes sense why you would think that.
Yeah, and just know stuff like that. But also, to me personally, like it would have been like sucky leaving people. You know, like this is like my boy. Right? This is like my other brother right here. You know what I'm saying? And it would have been like hard, but it's honestly like for me, it's not that difficult in a way that like it wouldn't affect
so
me.
Easy to like go.
It really
they're replaceable.
And it's sucky to say that, but it kind of is true.
No, yeah.
For, like being raised like
hard
that.
Truth, yeah.
The truth is, I feel bad sometimes. So I wouldn't count this as directly a negative because it's like it does help when you do move. Because obviously, like. It was funny this year. A lot of people were emotional when we graduated. You saw everyone, literally every single person at this, almost every person was like crying. I was like, no, I'm not ready to leave. I didn't really care. I was ready to celebrate. And,
I didn't tear up at all.
Yeah, and like, obviously
I was happy too. Like, I didn't tear up. Like, part of me was like, dang, this is it. But I was like, Yeah, 3.
Yeah, it's and
4-year contract
obviously,
up.
Yeah, exactly.
4-year contract.
We're done. I ain't signing another one. But like, it's and that obviously like that excitement's good too, but. What I mean for the fact is, like, there wasn't a single moment, and I'm so genuine about it. I'm not even trying to, like, seem some type of way. Like, there was never a moment where I just stopped and, like, I felt, like, emotional about it. Like, where I was like, dang, I'm really gonna miss these people every day. Like, I was just like, okay, I'm ready to move on. Because that's just how...
That's where you were raised.
That's just how it is. It was just a normal thing to me. And it's really, it's a stark contrast, like, just... The people, like, specifically my girlfriend and her entire friend group, basically, they were very, very emotional. And it was just so weird to be, like, just seeing them,
because something foreign, you just don't know.
And to me, it's like, I just, not only that, I just couldn't even comprehend, like, why it was, like, such an emotional thing. I was just, like, for me, it was emotional in, like, the best way possible. I was like, it's time to dip.
You know what? No, I get why you would say it's kind of not negative, because when you're going through it, it makes it easier to transition from friends and people.
And it makes
but also, like, it must be difficult keeping, like, deep relationships, because you're so used to just having to let go of people. You don't actually create deep relationships because you're scared.
Yeah.
You're just gonna leave them anyway.
And that's hard.
Advice of, like, changing on high school, like, another thing, like, keep your close friends with these other friends you might be sad about. I'm never gonna see this one guy. Dude, when you see, hypothetically, if I see somebody 10 years from now that went to my high school and they said, hey, you're Reif, I'd be like, yeah, it's cool. I have a quick conversation.
No, I mean, it would be nice to just be like, you know, what's up, how's your life going, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, you're not gonna hold on to them forever, but it's just like...
Yeah. It's just
but
like those few people.
I think it's definitely easier nowadays. Like, in the back then, like, social media was not really a thing, but now,
like, if someone left, you really, like, left. Like,
you're like, he's gone.
Hey,
but here is, like, it's easier.
That's a fun question. Yeah. How has social media changed you guys? Social media changed any of you guys?
I mean, for me, you know what, it's made me actually, it's really, like, it's sucky to think about, like, sometimes, but I'm really one of those people that's, like, I wouldn't say, like, addicted to social media, but, like, I really check it a lot, honestly, and I don't know why, but, like, I just, like, and, well, also, I have a little bit of, like, OCD, like, tendencies, at least, in my life, and it's, like, with a lot, and for me...
You try to recruit that?
It's... oh, we can't never mind.
He's watching.
Sergeant Vallejo.
Oh, no.
Oh, gosh. Okay, wait.
No, we're live.
ID number 4. No, oh, gosh. Okay, well... There goes that. Alright. Well, after this, we're gonna start looking for new jobs. You guys can't help me.
Well, you're gonna have to look for a new job.
We're being me for good.
Yeah,
you're done.
Oh, shoot. Okay, well, cat's out of the bag. So basically...
No, social media, go back.
Social media. No, I just, honestly... I just think it's made me a more, honestly, it makes me second guess things more in life. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but it's made me a more, like, cautious person. Sometimes it's hard to tell, if you understand, you understand. I'm just trying to, like, think about the best way to word it, because, like, I never really thought about this. Like, I always, like, it's in the back of my head, but, like, it's one of those things where I'm, like, low-key embarrassed, so I never, like, actually try to process it and think about it myself. It's just, like, a thought that's always there. I mean, what do you think? Like, do you think it's, like, made, like...
So, for me, like, I never really got into social media till... No, come on. Sophomore and junior year. Because obviously that's the quarantine time, and then we had so much time for ourselves. Shut up. But during that, social media made it easy for me to compare myself with other people, which isn't a good idea or a good thing for your mental. Which is one of the negatives I've kind of grown while using social media. Yeah. But it also, like, it helped me connect to more people and find people that I wouldn't have been friends with if it wasn't for social media. Mm-hmm. So, like, I would say overall, I think it's a good, but there's definitely negatives, like comparing yourself, for me, and also, like, trying to please others or trying to trying to show off when it's just not needed. You know what I mean?
Like, seem that you
that's
like
a good
have.
Like, I think, like, social media. Sometimes I gotta post stuff just to show off.
Yeah.
Like,
and, like, not only
it's
that...
unnecessary, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to flex, but, like, it's... I mean, just live your life, man. Just live in the moment. You don't need to show everyone what you do.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where also it's like, well, people really only share the good parts about their life. Because, like, you're looking... So what it did for me is, like, I would look at people, you know, you see them, like, they're, like, they only post what's good happening. So you'd see that. And so when something bad... For me personally, like, when something bad would happen in my life, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, it made me feel so...
worse.
Like, it made me feel, like, so isolated in this one event when probably there were, like, millions, hundreds of millions of billions of other people going through the same thing, but they're just not sharing it online and stuff like that. So that's just a crazy, like, thought, honestly, to think about. Stuff like that. And also, when you talked about, like, comparing yourself, that's what it really did to me a lot, was I would look at people, and I've always been, like, one of those, like, weird people who are, like, you know, I told you I like to flex, I have, like, a lot of friends and stuff like that. But, like, for me... that not like I never felt like too genuinely close with like a lot of people like at all, and sometimes I would genuinely feel envious of like those people who have like really close friend groups that are like they're certain that's their group, no other group, like that's they know who they are, it's good. And sometimes like I'd see like posts about like just people like that one group going on, I'd be like it would just like not like it wouldn't like affect me in too much of a way, but I'd be like man, like I really wish like I had that type of like connection to like a big group of people or something like that. And it would feel weird because like it would make me feel like some of my other relationships with like friends or stuff like that weren't as like genuine. It would make me second guess myself.
Are like different, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like all
and that's something you have to think about too.
It's not like a mold that every relationship should be like.
Yeah, and that's so true because I have friendships. And obviously with my girlfriend and stuff like that, where like you can have like those friendships where you just like talk every day 24/7, like it's like wrong when you don't talk for like more than 5 hours, like you feel sick. But then I have friendships like with friends and even like with Reif too, where it's like we could go like days, even like low-key weeks at a time and not say like a word to each other, but then when we get together it's like natural. It's just chilling. And neither is right or wrong. You could have both type of relationships and both are healthy, so you just can't like relate or you can't like compare relationships
with other people's
relationships. It's just you just have to base off of are you comfortable with that relationship.
And also like when they post it on like Instagram, but you don't even know what the relationship's like. I mean they post all the good stuff. They could be beefing on the side, but like
that's the weird thing about social media is like we're always posting like this perfect lifestyle. Like I always see people like always posting going out and stuff, and it's just like that's I don't know.
It's crazy, but it's just like it's just such a weird like concept to think about, like because you have to like when you think about it, like for me personally, when I think about it like logically, I'm like, so why would you even like what's the point? Who even cares? But then here I am the second I go out, literally like 2 days ago.
You're recording.
Are we?
We're recording.
Oh, yeah. Literally like 2 days ago. Like, I went out on a date, and I, like, literally, like, posted a video afterwards, and it felt, like, so cool.
Well, actually, I don't think it's...
It's not a good or bad thing, honestly. It's just...
I don't think it's wrong
it's
to,
weird
like,
to think about.
record yourself doing whatever you want. But if you go into something just to record it, if that's the reason why you go, then that's, like, what the heck.
Yeah,
you should do things because you want to do it, not just because you want to show others and impress them.
Or if it's like taking away from the vibes when you're going out. Like some people like they'll go out, they'll be like, yeah, this is so fun, and they're never on their phone, like they're always recording you, like it's hard to have a conversation with them and stuff like that because they're on, like they're just trying to plan out their social events. But I will say, actually this is the best way to put it. It's not a bad thing at all to post. It isn't because the way I actually remember, just it came in my mind. I had this conversation one time with my mom, and she said she loves social media and she posts about it all the time, and because she's coming from a perspective of like being raised with no social media, it's like when she moved away, she was a very close-knit family member, like with her family, like that they were like they're in a whole big like Hispanic family, like the stereotype basically, that's how she lived. And moving away from that with my dad and like me, it was such a hard thing to do for her specifically, but what happened, because she was just so used to like checking in with people on the daily. She'd call her cousins, meet up with her cousins and her sisters and aunts and uncles, and just be like, hey, what's up, how's your day been, what you been doing? So for her, it's an amazing way to stay in touch with family, besides just texting, because obviously texting you can tell people what happened. But if you're posting on social media, my mom loves it because she loves to see what all her family members are doing. And it's just a way for her to feel connected. And I think that's what it does too for some, like, actually, like, thinking about it, like, for friends, some of my friends are back in Germany still. I don't feel like texting them 24/7 and then giving them a detail about, like, what I've been doing and going out. Yeah. But I'll make a post, they'll see the post, and they just know what I've been doing. And it's a good way to keep in contact without, like, direct communication with people.
I never really thought about that. Like, you could you can indirectly keep a relationship going just by
tabs,
by posting something that you're doing, and then you see that's what Gavin's doing, whatever.
One of my closest friends, who we've been through everything together, crazy stuff. Went to court together. Oh, allegedly. No,
went to jail.
Back in Germany, I've known him since 5th grade. Yeah, that's a story for a different time. But we've been through it all, and I've known him since 5th grade, and we don't talk. We probably talk once a year text wise, but I still feel so connected to him and close with him because he always likes my posts and we always see each other posts and we'll comment under each other's posts and be like, okay, I see you, my boy, and it's just the connection's still there and we both feel it, and it's just one of those unspoken. Just it makes it a lot easier. It really does make it a lot easier to communicate and contact people. Maybe not direct communication though. It depends on the person.
Another question is do you feel there's ever chapters in your life where you're thinking wow, I changed as a person, or do you just say, no, I'm the same person, I've never changed?
I think that one big chapter of my life where I felt I changed personally as a person was starting freshman year specifically. Not really 8th grade, because my entire life before freshman year, I was the definition of a goody two-shoes. I know the whole court thing doesn't help with that, no, but I really was a goody two-shoes type of person. I never did anything wrong. I would freak out just the smallest things. I would even drinking, and my parents were you can't drink Monsters and stuff like that, or even Mountain Dews. I was one of them. Oh my gosh! No, there was a time where I wasn't allowed to drink Mountain Dews. I remember. And I remember, I would go out with friends and they would offer me, I'd be like, no, I can't. My parents told me I can't have a Mountain Dew. I was that type of person. I would never go against anything my parents said. And
now I do constantly. Sorry, Mom and Dad.
My parents think I'm at the library right now, actually. No. What happened, though, for me personally, a big change was freshman year, and I developed a more carefree attitude, but not too carefree where I just don't care about anything. I'm still a fairly responsible person in my life, but I just stopped being so uptight, and it's restrictive of you're missing out on so much if you live life like that, you're missing out on potential parties, fun, just great memories that you'll live with forever
that you wouldn't have done if you were so
otherwise. And I have to thank the cross country team for that personally, because I even when I started freshman year. So they just take a break.
Let's go to the cross country team, bro.
Yeah.
So
let's go to yours.
I'll move real quick. So it changed me a lot. It changed me a lot. So here, you can just take a break for a second. So what happened was, the cross country team, the group that wait, let me explain.
There you go, Gavin.
That's funny. The team was very they acted like a family to me, which was so crazy. I'd never seen a group act like that, because and that's another thing. Okay, another side tangent. A bunch of military kids, it's hard to get really deep groups in the military, honestly.
Because you don't know
yeah, everyone just kind of hangs out with each other and everyone's cool with each other, but it's just you don't form those connections. So it was just insane to me. That was my first ever viewing of a group of people who treat each other like family and are close that, but they're really just friends.
Stop talking. Shut up.
Oh,
just shut up.
Friends is done, bro. You want to turn off the TV, bro? Reef? Have a Cliff Bar. Have your Cliff Bar. Cliff Bar? No. You'd be I impregnated your sister. She called me daddy last night. You want to see the video?
I was still recording it.
Basically, where was I? Oh, yes. The groups. Seeing that cross-country team, they changed me by being more comfortable being close with people, but also they made me realize in just the subtle ways about how to just live more carefree and just not be so uptight, and just to have more fun in life and not take life so seriously. That's a big aspect. I think that's an important thing that people have to do, not take life so seriously, the little things and stuff like that.
But do you think what is the seriousness you should take on life? What is the how serious should you take life?
I think you should take life seriously. I think different people, depending on your goals as a person, are different things. The way I see it, when I say don't take life like too seriously, I don't mean like seek like stupid things and like do stupid, like, you know, like I'm going into the military. I'm not gonna be out here like smoking weed and like doing horrible things just because I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna take it too seriously. Like there's still a level of responsibility. But when I say don't take life too seriously, I mean more in the fact of like, if something bad were to happen, like getting a flat tire, or when things happen,
right,
or when people are mean to you, or when like someone's like, you better like some you get in a fight with a friend, or you get in a fight with a loved one or something like that. Don't take it too seriously and don't take it too close to heart and stuff like that. Just realize that, like, you know, it's hard to see because obviously when you're in that moment, your mind is so clouded, and you can't really see. It's like literally seeing fog. It's like brain fog. You can't see what's past it, but you just gotta tell yourself, you know, like, it will get better, and you shouldn't take it like too seriously. That's why I think about it when I think about it like that. It's not more of like, oh, fuck it, let's just go do whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I do live like that a little bit, not too much, not like too irresponsible, but the way I like my life motto is that you gotta live life like a Jackass movie. That's how you have to live life. Or else, like, what do you do?
You guys, wanna go jump off a building?
Shoot, I'll jump off of your house right now, dog.
Actually,
Tell me.
So
we'll be right back.
We live in Buckeye and there's a lot of animals. We're gonna go see if we can find a bull and ride it.
Find a snake and then have it like bite one of our nipples, like they did with the spider one.
And that?
Yeah, in the so for you, if you guys haven't seen the new Jackass movie, Jackass 4, the newest one. Yeah, they had a scene. 4? They had a tarantula. Jackass
Spoiler
Forever.
alert!
Spoiler alert for Jackass Forever. I know this is a big deal. They had a tarantula, and he just like they had it like literally bite the dude's nipple, and it had like the big fangs too. And
no,
was,
we
like,
should have
so
got that guy on the
looking.
pod. It was like, how is that changed?
How has life been
How
different for you
did a
ever since?
tarantula bite you? How did that change your life for the better? You know,
Better or worse?
Or worse,
Presumably better.
I met my wife that day.
How do you cope with waking up every day knowing you let a spider bite you in front of like for millions of people?
Right.
In the nipple. That's horrible. I wouldn't do stuff like that. But a lot of my Jackass moments are like just by me being stupid. I'm a very clumsy person, you guys. You guys have no clue.
Gavin, I do want to ask you another question. So, I know you're big on lifting. Did that ever like... Well, Gavin's flexing. Did that ever change you, like, just the way you view people? Like, there's this... I have this question, like, you're always working out. And you get stronger, you look better. Does that ever change your perception on how you view people? Like, people who don't work out, people who are not as...
They're all beta cucks. No. No. Ayo, but no. Okay, so it has changed my view a little bit, honestly. But not in a very judgmental way where I, like, look at people and, like, you fat fuck, oh my gosh, like, get a life. For me, what it did was... I would look at people, and this is what happened to me, because when I was in cross country, I never judged anyone else who didn't work out. I was like, okay, you live your life, you're just doing like band, oh, that's cool, you're just doing esports, oh, that's cool, you don't do anything, that's cool, live your own life. But what happened to me was when I started to lift and stuff like that, it triggered in my mind that there are so many different ways to work out, and I realized that like working out in any type of way, moving your body, dancing, yoga, stuff like that, it's so beneficial, and there's no downside to it whatsoever. That I started to think about it. I had more time on my hands too. I started to sit down. I thought about it more because I did just the lifting opened my eyes to it. It's just like there are so many good ways to move your body. So I don't judge people, but like when I see someone who like doesn't do anything, they don't like. No yoga, no dancing, no games. They don't play like Twister, Just Dance, nothing. They don't
Who
run,
plays
lift.
Twister? Yeah, what kind of examples is that? Plays Twister? What, you think people just on the daily are like, let's play Twister, let's go crazy?
If you ain't playing Twister, you're not playing Twister, what are you
It's
doing?
a real
Those are the people I judge the most. Anyone that doesn't play Twister.
No, that's the people you respect
Okay,
the most.
actually, never mind. I changed my answer. I do judge people. Hardcore. No, but like... Twister's fun.
Hashtag
Y'all
do Twister.
Y'all hating. I do judge Twister.
Twister on the next episode.
Can you imagine like
Come to terms with Twister.
Come to terms with Twister. We have a whole episode dedicated to Twister. Yo, I just thought of the fact that like you get like so close like to people and stuff like that in Twister, but like you couldn't do that if you were in a relationship with someone controlling. They'd be like, I want you like on him like that. No, babe. No. You know what I'm saying?
Relax,
like people like that. Too much. don't get into a controlling relationship, people. Ooh, that'd be a good episode.
Go back to what you're saying.
I started to think about it, and it's just like, I don't, like, obviously I don't care, like, stay alive, but, like, just in my mind, it's just boggling. Like, I can't it's one of those, like, things where I can't comprehend, like, why would you not do something physical? There's literally, like, no downside, even if you're playing sports. You know, like, when we first started becoming friends, like, you weren't as big on lifting, but you did basketball, and you did a bunch of, like, cardio, and that was, like, really good workouts, too, and stuff. Okay, but, like, basketball, I was trying to make you look good, bro. Alright, basketball, you played sports. You played sport. Right. Sports. Well, people
great example. great example of someone I
hate. No, people that okay. For people that do play sports. For people that do play sports, even that's really good, you know? Like, even if you bowl, like, at least... Oh, actually, maybe not bowling. I think I draw the line at bowling, because that's not really too physical of an activity. Okay? I draw the line there. I think bowling's a little too much.
How about
something
golf?
Like golf?
Oh, no, you're walking.
Yeah, well, you're walking, but it's just like...
No, if there's a sport that isn't really a sport, it's esports.
Esports, yeah. Well, because that's not... I'm talking about, like, yeah, something you got to do physical movements, you know what I'm saying? Even if you skate, like... You know, skating is really good for you too, like something like that. Skateboarding, rollerblading, just something. And I just look at people, I just don't understand. So, like, that's what happened when I started lifting. I just thought about it, and it's just, I don't understand how you could not do something that's, like, better for your body. It doesn't mean, like, I'm not, like, out here, like, preaching, like, go out every day, do, like, 7 miles, lift, like, 225 pounds as hard as you can. I just mean, like, just something small.
But if you
like
could.
But if you could, that's great. You probably should. Just saying, no. But, like, I mean, even if you're just dancing for, like, 15 minutes, trying to learn a new choreography, or, like, you're going on a roller skating thing or whatever, you're just, like, skating, something like that, you know? Something fun, like, you know? And you could mix it up. People are BSing when they say they don't have time. Especially what makes me laugh is when I'm calling people gamers out. I'm calling gamers out. And you want to know why? Here we go. This is gonna get real. I'm sorry. I know, my first episode and we start causing, like, drama and stuff like that. I know. But I'll put it like this. People who, like, play games and stuff like that and say they don't have time are capping. And I'm not saying don't play the games. Here's what I used to do. When I used to work out a little bit and stuff like that, like, I was... one time I was sick with pneumonia, and I couldn't run, I couldn't work out, but what I did do was I just needed to move, so I played Ghost of Tsushima, and I made a list of the different enemy types, and every time I died to a certain enemy type, I had a specific workout that I would do, whether it was 10 push-ups or something like that. Literally just do that. Play like a Call of Duty game, and, like, count how many times you die in the game, and then just do, like, that many, like, push-ups or, like, do certain things.
You just gamify it, you know?
Yeah, you could just do it. In between sessions, you could do push-ups or sit-ups or something. So, like, don't complain that you don't have time. You capping, you lying. That's all I gotta say. If you mad, leave a dislike. I don't care. What?
Just do some push-ups.
just do some push-ups. But I would do, if it's a game where it's like, here's good advice. If it's a game with different enemy types, like if it's a swordsman, you do push-ups. If it's a shieldsman, you do sit-ups. If it's like a bow and arrow user, you do like jumping jacks. Something. Just something. Do something that makes you move. Be a better person. Quit being the lazy fuck, alright? Go live a good life. Anyway,
alright.
Sorry.
Yeah,
no.
Back on
Back on track.
Get on track.
Yeah, so that was the question to your answer to your question, though, that made me realize that, like, people in general
Okay.
should move a lot. Not in a judgmental way.
I want to ask you and Rince this question. Was there ever a point in your life where you were doing something wrong? You know, maybe it was your personality or your actions, and you ever said, I gotta change. I literally gotta change. Like, I'm affecting myself. Affecting others in the wrong way.
Yeah.
I gotta think about it for a second.
Alright, so while you think, I have a great anecdote for that. Yes. Well, I have a bunch of, like, moments just because I kind of have, like, some bad habits, especially. And you're just naturally with growing. I mean, as a human, you should do that, obviously. I mean, even if you're, someone like Rance, that's why he has to think for a bit. He's, like, literally the perfect human. But, just natural, like, growing and stuff like that. For me, personally, my story is, I feel like freshman year and a little bit of sophomore year, that's when I stopped it. I feel like I had a victim mentality a lot, and it was so unhealthy to have. And I like picked up on it one time because I would hang around like some of like the drama kids and stuff like that, and they. Oof. Ooh. I don't want to.
Oh.
Never mind. No.
Let's hear it.
Drama kids.
So okay, you know what? We're graduating. I'm moving out. I don't care. Here we go. We're really laying it out. We're laying it all out. This is getting.
You don't gotta say the names.
We're saying some sketchy things. So I have the list actually right now. My freshman year and a little bit of my sophomore year, I truly and I didn't pick up on it until I realized it in myself, and then I realized it in them. Is that I kind of feel like the people I were hanging out with, a lot of the drama kids had victim mentalities, and it just isn't a good energy to be around and stuff like that. That's right, Yunker High School. Drama kids from 2018 we went in?
Yeah, 2018.
2018 to 2018 to 2019 school year students.
Wait, drama kids like theater kids?
Theater kids and acting class.
Oh,
acting
I thought
classes
you were just talking about
drama.
Kids that just made a bunch of drama up.
No, I mean the theater. No, I'm talking about the theater kids freshman year, sophomore year. I hung out with a bunch of theater kids and stuff like that because I did acting and stuff like that a little bit, just the class, and they had victim mentalities. They did it. I'm calling y'all out. Ooh. 2018 to 2019, and I know one person who still. I'm not gonna say no names. I know one person that I'm still in contact with a little bit.
Hair color?
They haven't changed. No. I didn't
Interesting. Guy or girl?
That was it down. I'm not gonna say. But they still are like that, and it's you know what? But that was me. Because I just picked it up one time because, for when I started high school, my priority, honestly, sadly, was girls. It just really was. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm straight up.
Nah,
I just wanted a girlfriend. In my mind, but I had the unhealthy view of relationships. In my mind, I was once I get a girlfriend, all of my problems are gonna go away. Life's just gonna get so much easier. And that's if you have that type of mentality, you should realize that it's not like that at all, and that's not a healthy way to think about relationships. If you really think you're gonna get relationships and then magically everything's gonna be no. What I explain to people who are sometimes they're sad that they're single, the way I explain it is when you get in a relationship, what you're doing is you're picking up another responsibility in life. That's really all you're doing. You'll have amazing support. It's true. You'll have amazing support though. Obviously if you're with a good person, and it does make some things easier, but it doesn't make things immediately better. And you really are picking up another responsibility because now that's someone else who you're connected to, and you have to maintain that relationship so much better.
Yeah. And
you just have to find someone who's worth it. It's never a bad thing, but you just have to find someone who's worth that effort, because not everyone's worth that effort, honestly.
True.
It's still recording our audio, right?
That's recording audio.
Oof. Should I was gonna say a funny thing, but now I'm not sure since it's recording.
These Oreos.
I was gonna make
Oreos.
So when we have our troubles as a podcast, and I invoke drama because I love drama, and I split us up, who's gonna maintain control when it's just the three of us separate? Me, right? I'm gonna keep control of the thing.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I'm gonna make videos and be like, hey guys, sorry that all my other. I'm gonna be like, hey guys, sorry that all of my other sucky co-hosts couldn't be here. They were too busy being the worst people ever. Wait, this isn't going on the recording, is it? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's recording right now.
I don't want people to think of me as a bad person. Oh my god. Are we recording?
Yeah. We've been recording.
I mean, we're back on, it's live right now.
Alright, so that was very interesting, Gavin. Yeah. So if you do that one more excited.
You're too close.
Okay, so now that we got Gavin's take, I really want to know about yours, Rents.
I'm interested.
Alright, mine's a lot more different than Gavin's. So, the moment when I was nah, man, I gotta change, was actually this senior year. Before getting into senior year, I was oh my gosh, I never realized how much, you know what, hold on, backtrack. It's it's towards the beginning of the start of senior year is when I realized how much people had an effect in my life, and how I distorted my my enjoyment in life just to fulfill someone else's enjoyment in life. And that's when I was I gotta start doing things for my own self, start doing things what I enjoy doing and not for the sake of someone else. It's just because that kind of mentality has grown over the past 3 years of me and like in high school, like I'm taking sacrifice for my own self for the greatness of others. Like it sounds good, like on paper, but it gets really hard on your mental, and it gets really tiring having to constantly, focus on someone else's feelings instead of your own. But after that, obviously it wasn't like a straight transition. It took some time for me to realize that. And you can even say like a little part of it right now, even like a slight bit, but after that moment is when I actually started to enjoy life and started to create connections in relationships that I've wanted to have, and experience things that I've always wanted to experience, just because I just wanted to stop caring about what others thought of me and start doing things on my own. So like that's probably one of the moments where I was like, man, I have to change. And I think it happened because I don't know a specific date, but it was just like throughout the 3 years, it would just be so tiring having to constantly think about someone else's feelings, and then like go back home and be like, man, I don't want to do anything else because that day was tiring. Like I had to focus on everyone else besides myself, and I just wasn't enjoying life, even during like before pandemic, and obviously during it too. So that's probably one of the moments where I was like, man, I gotta change, and this is not the way I want to live life.
Yeah, you had to take care of more of yourself.
Right.
Give yourself some self-love or something. Like that.
Yeah. What about you, Reif?
Ooh. Where do I start? First of all, I was listening their stories instead of thinking of what I should say, but
Take some time. I will say this while you take some time to think. That's so true. I feel like a lot of people starting senior year kind of have that like breakthrough. I think even like with me, like deciding that I wanted to go into lifting, and like I stopped caring what like other like my teammates thought. I was like, I just want to enjoy your senior year. And I feel like it's like that because it's like you realize it's your last year. You want to make it special for you specifically.
Not
I think
else.
that helped a lot too.
Yeah.
Like, it being
and also like coming out
year.
of the whole quarantine and like online learning.
Yeah, so like
everyone's like it gave more time for you to think about like
Focus on
what you
yourself.
want. Yeah, focus on what you want and realize what you
Yeah.
want out of, I guess, life.
I feel like we had the best setup for that to really just like it was like a good wake up call. It's like you're thinking about it, it's like this is my year. I want to make it special for me. Not care as much about other people and stuff like that. Plus, not being connected to that many people. Who cares?
Right.
Still don't know what I want to say, but I think I'll give you an idea.
Is there like a moment? Like, what was the first thing that comes to
I think it
mind?
was my time with the cross country team. My sophomore year, I was very heavily into running. Like I was like, my dedication was running, but also on the team, I was very rambunctious, wasn't I? I was like wild.
Very, very, very wild.
Like, I pissed off one of my teammates just being stupid.
Yeah.
And I think,
Wait, what did you do?
I don't know.
It wasn't just one teammate. I'll put it like this.
It wasn't
Reif,
you.
even if Reif did pick up on it, Reif is a very outgoing. He's a very outspoken person, and he's very he's himself through and through. And he doesn't change like when he first meets people. So for when you first meet him, it's a little bit like much. And I can speak specifically because I was already on the team when he had joined. And I remember talking to the guys that everyone was like, yo, who's this like dude? Yo, he's crazy. Like we couldn't tell like whether we like liked him or whether he was like too insane. Like it was hard to like get it. It was like so crazy to think about. But you did ruffle some feathers. You definitely did because people they didn't really understand your humor at the time.
Yeah.
And
they still don't.
you still ruffle feathers. Oh, you really?
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
But I'd say like my junior year, I became more relaxed or composed. Like obviously there were times I was a little bit crazy. But I think my junior year, it seemed like some of the guys on the team like started wanting to hang out with me. They thought I was cool. I just became
Really mellowed out.
yeah, more mellow, and I just became more normal, I guess. But I think every year I kept maturing, and that's something that I had to do is just mature. And a lot of you'll see this with freshmen, they're very immature. And eventually they'll mature, but like a lot of their there's people that are our age and are very immature, and I think that's something that you got to work on. Is just change your maturity level. You know, don't change who you are. Just become more mature. You know, it's just understand the situation.
Better functioning member of society.
Yeah.
And honestly, it sounds like your thing wasn't a thing where you sat down and were like, wait, I gotta change this. It's just like you did naturally change, and then once you got to that, you're like, oh, I can't believe I kind of just like, it kind of hit you, and you're like, I guess I just got more mature.
Guess
So
I
it wasn't
did.
like you did it beforehand like that. Okay, that makes sense though. That's actually.
Yeah, what are some ways like what are some things that you experienced that helped you mature?
The pandemic. Yeah, this whole lockdown. I don't know. I think not. For a while, everyone was antisocial. So I think as we excluded ourselves from society, I just became a little more quiet, I guess.
For the better, or is it something you just didn't want?
Yeah, I think it just happened naturally. You know, just I think with just age, you know, it's just like, yeah, that was stupid of me, just acting like a kid. I'm freaking 16 now. Well, right now I'm 18, guys. I'm not 16.
Gotta clarify, of course.
It just
the people out there.
It just happened naturally, and just I think the way I saw my peers act, I was like, I should act more like them, and just not be like them, but just be like more mature, and just it was just a learning experience. I don't know how it just happened, you know.
Is there any part that you missed from that? Like when you weren't, I guess, as mature, is there anything you missed, or you just kind of you're happy that it went the way it did?
Probably the time that I missed when I was like super immature. For some reason, I would go on the extreme for everything. So when I got into running, I was really extreme into running. Like I did a lot of running, but then as I matured, and I got interested in other things, and just ran less. Like probably my times would have been better if I run consistently. But you know, that's
but
something.
now you're doing something else that you know.
That makes sense. That makes sense. You were really all in. You were like an all in type of person with like everything. I remember.
I think there was a time in my life where sophomore year is like the only way I'm gonna get into college is if I get a scholarship through running. But yeah, I had some transfer issues sophomore year, so I didn't get to run a single meet. Yeah.
That's so stupid.
So I would have ran a couple meets probably for track, but because I was only gonna get to run half the track season, but that got cut down because of COVID. But my cross country year, I could have ran the whole entire season, but I was so stupid to do this. I don't know. My anxiety was just crazy, so I started out at Yonker, and for a week there, I was like, I don't think this school is it for me. I don't know if I.
What?
If I because it was my first year at Yonker, and I was just
sophomore?
like, yeah.
Where'd you go freshman year?
Odyssey.
Oh
Yeah.
shoot.
So I was just like, this school's a little nervous. So then the next week, I transferred back to Odyssey, and then I wanted to run for Odyssey cross country. I didn't practice with them, but I practiced a little bit with Yonker's cross country team, and I talked to the. I probably shouldn't even said anything, but I talked to the Odyssey's athletic director, like, hey, I'm gonna run. I just said, and he asked me, since I was Yonker, did you ever practice with them? And I said, yeah. He said, because of that, you can't run at all. And I don't know. Sports is just sometimes stupid. Like, I think, you know, like, we get a competition, there's money, the stealing.
It's a really stupid rule that they had, though. It was a transfer rule. It wasn't really built for cross-country kids. It was built for, like, football.
Mainly
and,
football
like,
and basketball.
Players who, like, if they transfer, like, a school could really, like, some coaches, like, take it so seriously, they try to genuinely entice players and stuff like that. So if there's a transfer, it's like, what was it? There was, like, if you transfer, like, during the school year, you can't, like...
Yeah, you can't run at all.
But they didn't make it specifically for basketball or football because they didn't want it... I guess they wanted to seem like they were singling them out, even though everyone knows it. So they put it for all sports. Yeah. Even though, like, who's really going to be like, we need this cross-country runner here now? Like, no one was trying No one was trying to take... no offense, but, like, specifically Reef, no one was trying to take... even our best runners, like no one's like no other high school's like, hey you buddy, like trying to get him in, like it's not that big of a deal. So it's just really stupid.
Yeah, and I just wanted to run for the sake of it. Probably would have been better if I said no, I didn't practice with them, but. And then I went to 3 days at Odyssey, and I was like, I hate Odyssey, so I went back to Yonker, chilled.
Oh my gosh, imagine if you stayed at Odyssey, you would have... Oh my gosh.
Imagine how life would be.
It would be different. But I'm glad I went back to Yonker, and my, I didn't get to run any meets my sophomore year. But it's alright, because I thought of it as a blessing in disguise, because I thought it would have been like, okay, well, I don't have to stress out about meets. I'm just going to I'm going to take this year to train. I took the whole entire year just to train. I was training super hard. I was actually training so hard that I couldn't break the 6-minute mark for a mile. And then my sophomore year, I ran a 5:50 mile. It's not that impressive. It's okay. For me, it was cool. But, you know, I was just grinding my sophomore year. But then the pandemic happened. And, like, who's gonna run, like, when there's no sports going on?
Yeah.
Like, so, I don't know. That was just an experience. So, yeah, that's my change moment.
That was one thing that made you mature more.
Yeah, just running matured me, man.
Running?
Yeah, go for a run if you want to mature.
If you want to...
At least 8 miles. No, 10.
Running is good for you. It
20.
just it instills running specifically, like, yeah, like all exercise is good, but like running instills so many good qualities in you as a person. I think it
Especially your mentality.
It changes your mentality. It gives you like better, like, I feel like it raises my motivation really good. It taught me how to be more patient, not only more disciplined, but also it taught you how to like be more like. You could see the end, which ties into discipline, but like it's easier to like see through the end, because like when you're in a 3-mile race and you're like only a mile in and you're already dying, you're like, you have 2 more miles, you have to have faith that you can make it to the end, and you have to picture yourself at the end. Visualization is one of the biggest things I learned when I was running cross country and track, and it was because of our track coach, Coach Ross. Shout out Coach Ross. Shout out Coach Ross. One look. No.
This isn't Skyline.
This isn't Sky. Literally, he was the best.
Oh, it's
yeah, you would get it.
To Keaton Sanchez.
Sanchez.
You.
Yeah, you would get it. But Coach Ross, like, I think he was genuinely like one of the first people. I mean, my parents, we would work through like scenarios, like visualization scenarios, but like it just didn't stick with me. Like, for like, I had never been like, no teacher's ever been like, visualize yourself. And just for me, like, learning visualization like in races, it's something that I could adapt and use in my normal life too, which was amazing. And I use that all the time, like when things get like hard, like say I'm arguing with someone or something like that. When me and Reif, we had, you know, our little like fights, stuff like that. You know,
Me and Gavin had like 5 or 6 civil wars during senior year.
And it's one of those things, but it got progressively worse and worse. There was like a time where we like didn't talk, but even then, like when you're fighting with someone, it's easy to like, you have to like be able to see the end instead of just being like, nope, quit, there's no future with us together, you know, like.
I will say this too, I feel like senior year was my most toxic year.
Toxic?
Yeah, like it was just like, honestly, if I had to rank all my years, I'd put senior year at the bottom.
Damn.
I don't
Really?
know. I didn't like senior year. My favorite year.
My top year for senior year.
Because he finally stuck out his shell though. That's because before this he was.
It's crazy to also think about that. Our freshman and senior years were our only full years. Like sophomore year, we were close to having a full year, but the pandemic. And then junior year
was not even a normal year.
Not really. I only got maybe 9. Me and Gavin went back to in person, but with the whole mass thing.
Junior year was. Yeah,
learned nothing during those 2 years though.
Oh no.
School wise.
Sophomore year, I genuinely did not do. I log on and I just play like GTA or something like that.
I remember
if I were to log on too, like I would sometimes sleep and I would not, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes I'd be late to first period, like in class. I would just like wake up like later just because it was just hard. It was a harder time to just like. It's hard. It was hard to like feel motivated to try your best when you don't feel the physical like rewards of like being at school. You're there. Like when you're at school, you're feeling it. When you're at your house, you feel more comfortable there. It's hard to like feel as dedicated and as disciplined to like. Okay, I must wake up at like 7 o'clock so I can wake up and get ready. But like
yeah, that's especially when you know other people are doing it too. It's like why am I doing it and then everyone else is fine doing it? You know.
Yeah, or like even just like like it was the small things, like even when people were like on video, like everyone would have their cameras off, but like when someone had their cameras off, 9 times out of 10 they were in pajama clothes, and it's just not a very like.
Who's dressing up though?
Yeah, exactly.
Were you dressing up?
No, I wasn't dressed up, but that's what I'm saying though. You would see.
Hello,
Dude, Miss
Hello,
Tramp,
teacher.
bro. I had Miss Tramp for I forgot.
Shout out
what it was
Miss Tramp.
Future Ready.
Shout out Miss Tramp. Miss Tramp to go. I had Miss Tramp for Future Ready and for CSP or whatever, the college career prep or whatever.
Yeah.
But I had her for Future Ready during COVID.
CCP.
And she wouldn't let people well, I had her for CCP, but I also had her for Future Ready Junior. One of our teachers, Miss Tramp, would not let us wear pajama pants or
What, did she have you
clothes.
stand up or something, or?
No, like most people would sit down. Like, I mean, if as long as you were good from the waist up, you were good. But like, if someone had like pajama pants showing that were like chuggy or something like that,
She's
she'd be like,
like,
no, you're not
up,
dressing
young man.
professionally.
Why are you wearing
Even
pants?
No, even if it was a shirt, I forgot what it was. Someone wore like a tank. I think it was like a tank top like this. They were wearing it. Oh wait, they'll be able to see this, right, in the actual thing or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're wearing a tank top that's basically like this, and she was like, you shouldn't wear that. That's not school appropriate. And Brody was like, yo, like, I'm at my house, dog. I will really log off. It's not that deep. And she was pressed about it. But but like a lot of people just didn't care. They dressed like in pajama pants and stuff like that.
You know, one thing.
and it's, like,
one thing like we all can share as like one thing that has affected us, like. Collectively is the pandemic, which is strange. Like we've all changed right after the pandemic. Like that's the one thing that we all could relate to and be like, yeah, this moment is when a lot of my life has changed.
You know what? I will agree to that. And I was gonna initially say that like I don't think I changed that much during the pandemic, but thinking about it, I think I did the thing that Reif did. I think I became a more
Mature?
Mature, but like just with natural. I don't think I got too much more mature, honestly. Actually, I think I became more reserved. Specifically in class, not with my friends. I'm still like being psycho, but like in class, I think I became more reserved, and that's just because like freshman year and the beginning of sophomore year, I was like crazy. I would like talk to people in class. That's why a lot of people know me, and a lot of people are like my friends and stuff like that. Because freshman year, I was a very social person. I would talk in class. I would talk outside. I would just talk. Because I'm a talkative person.
Yeah.
By nature. Yeah, by nature. And yeah, but I don't know why, but just coming back, like how you said, it was a little awkward coming back, like in person off of COVID and stuff like that. And you said you felt it too. Like it's just kind of like, it just didn't feel like as natural, like just like talking, and it just took a while. And I don't think I ever fully got that like vibe back where I just felt like so comfortable being like, yo, what's good? You my homie, blah blah blah. Like some people did, like Steven. Steven. Shout out Steven Williams, yes sir. I know Steven, and I didn't have class with him after. Oh, I guess after COVID. But like knowing the type of person he was, he came back, and I had math with him and English with him. Oh, and history with him. He talked to every single teacher like he was there, like he was like homies with them. He would like talk to our math teacher, be like, when are we ever gonna use this? Like straight up, like just be real with me. Like when is this? Like this is never gonna happen. He would talk to our history teacher, and he like our history
He did
teacher.
that with Gavin too.
Yeah.
What would he do?
Well, he said he would say exactly what you said. You actually said it spot on. Like I swear I heard him say that. Yeah, what are we gonna use this?
Like, yo, not gonna lie, but like, what are we ever?
Man, we gotta get Steven on an episode. That would be funny.
Oh, hold on.
Also, don't worry, we're gonna be on like a bunch more now. I'm gonna be like the main guy now. This is kind of like my
Sit down.
guys.
Sit down.
This is kind of like my baby now, guys. Where were we? Oh yeah, Steven. He should come on the podcast.
Yeah, we should get
That'd be really cool.
Steven Williams, if you ever watch this podcast, shoot me, Rents, Reif, Gavin, any of us attacked, saying I need to be on Coming to Terms.
If anyone else wants to come join,
Well,
Also, let us know because
let us know what you want too. Like what topics you want us to talk about.
this isn't just the Gavin podcast.
if you have any, well, debatable.
If you would love to have Gavin out of the podcast, please put that. Yeah.
Yes, please put that.
Any
in.
requests?
But guys,
People, if you have questions for specifically Reif, like if you have any questions about him, or if you have any questions about why Rents is such a perfect person, or questions about me, how I became so like sexy and attractive and stuff like that.
don't listen to Gavin.
Whoa, buddy.
Renz, I'm sorry. Okay.
Close.
Okay, don't listen to Gavin. But seriously, guys, if you want to come on the podcast and share a personal experience, you know, we'll tell you what episodes we got coming up, or if you want us to do an episode, you know, we'll communicate with you.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd love to have you on. This is a fun podcast experience to experience with, and we want you to come to terms with a subject. And we want you.
You don't even have to like come to terms with it. I mean, you might be still coming to terms with it. It's just something we want to talk about, you know?
Yeah. This is a talking podcast.
Yeah.
Not the Gavin podcast.
And we're gonna have this podcast grow to whatever it may be, but we're hoping to, you know, up the production value from last time. Oh my gosh, from last time, this is good.
Okay, it's progressively gonna get better every episode. If you remember episode 1, there was no video. Episode 2,
still getting posted.
Yeah, that was rush production, but we wanted you to. We want to give you guys content.
We wanted something.
Yeah.
And this one is proper.
A little bit proper. We're still working on the kinks, but we got some lighting, guys.
Yeah, lighting. Yeah. New camera. New mic. This is way better.
And if you can see the posters, we also got some posters. Yeah. New guests.
New guests, right?
Yeah. So
upgrade.
Yeah. We So guys, listen to our podcast. It's pretty good. You know, we want to give you guys great content. We want to make this an enjoyable podcast. We want this to be different also from other podcasts. You know, it's just...
And we want this to last too. We want this to continue and hopefully get some revenue from this, please.
I mean, if we could get some sponsorships, or if you guys want some merch, not out of the picture.
Guys. There's like probably one person watching right now.
Crazy.
Probably one person.
One person.
Your mom?
No.
I'm kidding.
She's not watching this.
I'm gonna share this when I go home.
Well, I think this was a pretty good episode.
It was a nice episode. I'm glad. Hey, thanks, Gavin, for coming on. Thanks,
you guys
Gavin.
for having me on. It was so much fun. I love this podcast, and I love what you guys are doing. And I just had to jump at this type of opportunity. And I think with the way this is going, once it gets traction, it just takes like one couple people to take note of it, and then it's gonna skyrocket. This is a really good setup right now, and I feel like it's only gonna get better. Naturally, I mean, everyone has like that one YouTuber that they see, and that you can see the difference in their videos. I think it's gonna be like this.
Well, follow us on all socials, and that was us coming to terms with change.
Also, guys, Renz did say socials. I gotta let you know what the social is.
We'll put it in the bio too.
We'll put it in the bio, but if you want to follow us on socials, our Instagram is the Coming to Terms Podcast.
No spaces, spelled exactly how it's supposed to be spelled.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Gavin.
Alright. Thanks,
Anyways,
guys.
see you guys.
Bye.